Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Anna.
And we're two sisters who love handcrafting and figuring things out. No, we've already done that, so you can just start with welcome.
All right. Hi, everybody. It is Saturday, August 24th. This is episode 55 of the Curious Crafters, and we're so glad you're here. Yeah. Welcome.
55, 5 times 11. We are back together after we haven't really been in the same room since the middle of July.
It's very strange.
Middle of July, we had one small exception. So we're back. We had our summer trips, a lot of fun. We're back at school. I just finished my first week with students, teaching 8th grade. We're off and running.
Oh. Same with me.
Yeah. So what's going on? Who are you? Do I even know you?
I know. We're out of practice, and we have not had tons of chat time yet with each other. So
we're getting our pizza tonight, so don't worry.
Right.
You know, even our last time we filmed, you were sick, so we did it by Zoom.
I know. It's been a long time. We're probably going to say that about 5-6 times.
Right. It's been a long time.
It's good to see.
Or if we start chatting about random things in the middle of it, it's just that we're like,
tell us, get back to cross stitch.
Yeah, get back to it, girls. All right. So what are we going to do in our episode today? We're going to be chit-chatting, of course. We're going to talk about what we're wearing. We're going to share. We have finishes. We have whips. We have plans. We're going to get curious about translating knitting designs into cross stitch. Mm-hmm.
You've piqued my curiosity.
We're going to highlight a few of our shared supplies that we've gotten over the last month or so, and then we'll end with our thumbs up. As always, there are chapters there on YouTube. You can zip around to any section if you want. And we're so happy you're here. Good to see everybody. I also want to say for myself, I apologize if you left a comment where I needed to reply or something on Instagram. Just while I was traveling and on the summer, I was a little bit disconnected. I think we were both talking about this. We're a little bit disconnected from the cross stitch world. We're sort of in our other world. So I apologize if I didn't reply to something. I just might not have seen it or...
Yeah.
So please don't hesitate to re-ask a question or DM us on something.
So I feel like we just got pressed pause, and I've just pressed play again.
I know.
Or unpause, and I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things.
I think I hadn't watched a FlossTube since I left toward mid to late July. And I just started watching FlossTubes again last week. I've watched
it's been at least a month.
I know. And then it's it's hard, some of my favorites. I'm like, do I go back and try to catch up, or do I just watch their most recent and then know when I need something, I'll go back?
Right. I always go with the most recent.
I think that's
just
what I'm too.
With a student coming back after an absence, I'm like, keep up with your
I like that.
Things.
I like that.
And if there's time, you can go back.
I like that. Good.
Okay, good.
Any highlights for you from your trips or travels?
It's just been glorious. I was on the East Coast, saw a dear friend.
That's right.
Spent some time in a couple of my favorite cities with some of my favorite people. Lots of time with our 4th generation, so the little ones in our family, who just are so funny, and it's just been great.
Mm-hmm. Good.
How about you?
Similar, really similar.
Ate some really good food. I ate a delicious biscuit sandwich that had a fried tomato, pimento cheese, and fig jam. That was one of my highlights.
Nice.
And soft serve ice cream, which we don't have out here.
Yeah. That's big for me. We spent a big chunk of time at a family beach house on my husband's side of the family, and one of the highlights is there's soft serve custard, and that's just not something you find on the West Coast on a regular basis. and it's so good. My favorite is to get the soft serve chocolate, and they roll it then in peanuts and dip it in chocolate. It's called like a Nutty Buddy. So good.
My favorite is chocolate soft serve with chocolate sprinkles.
Okay. Oh yeah, chocolate sprinkles. It's so funny though that we were there with all our family, so my 4 granddaughters were there. And we seem to have started this tradition. I don't know why I let it go, but I did. Where they all get to go. They're all eating their own ice cream, but they come over as little birds with their mouth open, like wanting to eat my ice cream too.
Oh, so they all get a bite from
and they
yours?
get at least one bite from mine. And
I can see them now when they're 13. Gramsy, I'm ready for my bite.
That's right. They're going to be teenagers and they're going to be like,
that's funny.
Yeah. Little tradition. All right. Tell us about Made It to Sew in America. Oh, you made it to Sew in America. Okay. Talk to us about that.
Oh, yes. I didn't even understand my own notation. No. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
So I spent some time in the DC area. So my husband and I took the metro in one morning to go see the exhibit Sewn in America, which is at the Daughters of American Revolution Museum.
How long is it there?
I want to say through September, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Wow.
He enjoyed it as well. It is.
Keep talking.
I'm going to tell you, I walked in and, well, I'll show you. The very first showcase that I saw, I couldn't stop looking at. I wanted to be standing with Susan Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
Because, actually, go to that marked page, please. In it were some of these sewing tools. And I have a couple of pictures myself, which we'll insert. Among them is a tape measure that is made, the case of the tape measure, sterling silver, the tape measure itself, silk ribbon. I mean, everything was so beautiful. And it was a really thoughtfully arranged exhibit. And of course I was like seeking out all the samplers first and foremost. And I put this in our stories, I almost missed, before you go through the main doors of the exhibit, there's these huge file cabinets. I'll put a picture of that in here too. And it's just one of those things where you can just open the drawers, and so many more little treasures in there, including some more samplers.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. And we just had so much fun walking around. The Daughter of American Revolution Museum is very close to the Washington Monument. So
yeah, I'm trying to picture where it is on the mall. And
it's not on the mall. It's a little like a block off the mall.
Okay. I'm so glad you went. Don't you wish we could somehow do a GoFundMe to get Susan Stanley to get to this show? Do you know, is it traveling around?
Not that I know of.
Wow.
James and I were laughing because when we were in high school, we both won the Daughters of American Revolution Award one year.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you win it for?
We should get a discount because we just had so much fun. I was surprised at how much he liked it. And it was so civilized and beautiful. When you walk in, they welcomed you. They offered you water at the water cooler. They asked what you wanted to see at the museum. It was very hot that day, so we were like, maybe they were asking because I was so flushed in the face. But
are these people going to faint here?
Exactly. The whole experience was wonderful.
Oh, Anna, that sounds so great.
One of my favorite pieces was a sampler was on dark fabric, which makes me realize I need to work more on dark fabric. And then James picked this little yellow knit sweater. I might be able to find it. It is not an old thing. Some of the exhibit was modern things as well. And he just said it reminded him of the things that we make for the little ones.
Oh.
So it was fabulous.
And this, I'm just glancing through this book. Please may take a turn when you're finished with it.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll leave it here for you.
It looks like an amazing, I'll report back on the next one once I read it. It looks like, even if you can't see the show, a perhaps amazing resource.
I ordered this in the mail in July because I knew it might be heavy and I wouldn't want to cart it around in my suitcase. So I think it was $35.
Okay, so you had a little glimpse of it before you went to the show.
The photos don't do justice to a lot of
of
things,
course,
as so often the case. They also had this very nice table that had perforated paper and some designs. And so anybody, but it was all children who were doing it when I was there.
Children and Anna.
Could just sit down and learn to cross stitch like a little bookmark or something. It just had a fabulous feel. You just feel that kinship of, a lot of women who sewed did it because they had to,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so interesting to see how they put themselves into it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wonderful.
can't say enough.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
And I was barely looking at Instagram, as Carolyn said, but I'm seeing a few of the new releases, including hashtag Kathy Barrick Fan Club. I really like her release that it's called Elizabeth LeConte 1786, and it's a sampler that's just motif.
Okay, we'll try to put it. We'll try to get. I'll try to find a picture, and we'll put a picture in if we can.
Yeah.
Did you order it?
No, I haven't. No,
Okay.
like you, I just feel like I've been on the periphery and just sort of like hopping in here and there. So I gotta get serious this fall about ordering some of the new releases.
Yeah.
And
I
started taking it all in.
I saw something quickly. It was a joint design between Kathy Barrick and Liz Matthews that was from the Jingle Ball. It was just a really cute, like kind of Christmassy winter scene. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I saw it.
Did it have a Santa in it?
It did. I'm pretty sure.
I think
it
I saw
did.
that too.
Yeah, because I'm like, I finished my North Pole Santa. I'm like, I think I need to get another one for that. Okay, wonderful. All right, so let's toast.
Okay.
Back together. Here we go.
So nice to be sitting next to you again, and can't wait for dinner conversation.
I know. Anna went to Phil's and got our Phil's order.
We even got mediums instead of small. It's that kind of day, everybody.
She had texted me, "What do you want?" And I didn't see it for a while. So by the time I texted back, she's like, "Whoops, I already got it for you." And I had said, "Oh, just get me a small." But it's a medium.
All right.
Let's do it. Anna, what are you wearing?
Okay, I did not make this tunic, but this tunic you'll see in the catwalk. I bought in the spring. I've worn it a few times, and I think it's just screaming to have some cross-stitch motifs stitched on it. Have you seen Sarah Stitchy Spot is putting a motif on linen napkins? I think every sampler she does, she's picking a motif and putting it in a linen napkin.
What?
And using waist
I have
canvas.
not. Okay, so she's doing. I was about to say because the linen napkin's going to be much finer. So doing the waist canvas. Okay. I saw a reel or something where somebody was removing the waist canvas. I think.
Yeah, I think I ordered some before I left for vacation, and it might be dissolvable.
Okay.
So well, I'll have to experiment. But
okay.
Well, you'll see in the catwalk. I think it needs some embellishment. And I was just joking with Carolyn and her husband when I arrived, because my husband says that he thinks that this sort of suggests the dentist's office. So it needs some Pennsylvania Dutch motifs or something.
It does.
So if you have any ideas, like, should I put some around the neck? There's actually a sewn seam down the center. Should I put things on either side of that?
You know where. First of all, I think you need some kind of like
Something up here.
like a bandana or something just to break that up. But I think you should be putting your cross stitch like isn't it A-lined? So sort of like coming down the side. I think up here it's gonna look too.
Do you mean like maybe even like flowy?
No, I would almost like have it coming down under your arm or have it in like an unusual place, because I think up here it's gonna look kind of like a child's. I don't know.
Like smocked.
I think it might not look like you're so hip, Anna. I don't know. My instinct is something sort of asymmetrical or unexpected.
Okay.
Seeing a traditional thing in an unexpected
I'm
place.
very open to ideas if anyone wants to leave ideas in the comments.
Yes, please do.
And Carolyn, you?
All right. I am wearing, it's called, I have to look close to pronounce it, Chalmillans Snood. And Chalmillans is a Shetland word that means smithereens. So this is a snood, and a snood is just sort of like a wrapped cowl. I'm going to take it off in a minute. That was designed by Donna Smith. So I'm going to take it off now, and you're probably like, Carolyn, why are you wearing something so hot and warm on a sunny summer day? Well, you're going to find out in the We Are Curious section. But this is really an amazing thing. I knitted in 2016. The yarn I used is so scratchy, and I have a high tolerance for wool. High tolerance. And it's almost a little too scratchy for me. Although, you know what? It did kind of feel cozy on there. So this, I knit in the round as a tube. So it is like a double side, it's double-sided when you make it. And
Wait, so is it, I don't understand what that means. You knit in the round.
So I knit it in a round. Like, do you know when you're knitting like this? And so you're just making like a hat,
the body of a sweater.
A body of a sweater.
Equidistant on every.
So that's it. It was just, you can almost imagine this. It's now kind of been flattened out. So I'm just knitting around like this. And I start it, and when I get to the end of my tube, they get sewn together to join them.
And then from then on, you're going like this.
No, you knit the whole thing and then you join it. So let's say.
I mean, when you knit it, was it this wide?
No, because I was knitting in the round. So here's actually where I joined and started it. So just imagine that's the two.
Oh, you joined
the length. Yeah. So
okay.
I started here and I knit this.
I could not visualize
and knit
this.
and knit this, and then you join them in the end.
Okay.
But
thanks.
you can just see all of these motifs. So this was an incredible, fun thing to knit, and I love the look at it. If I had knitted in like a soft and squishy, comfortable yarn,
it would be fraying by now.
It would be fraying by now. All right. So I knitted in the summer of 2016. And that's the first time I've worn it just right then. That's the longest it's been on my body.
Wow.
I know I need to maybe try it in the winter. Maybe this winter when I'm riding my bike to school and you really want something warm. I should try to wear it because it really is, if I do say so myself,
Beautiful.
we work with the students all the time. In fact, we're doing a session with the 8th graders at the beginning of the school year. Like, it's so important to tell people or be honest about what you're good at. And it's really hard for them. Like, what are your strengths? What are you good at? Because the kids are like, it feels like we're bragging or something, or no. So I'm just modeling that for the world out there. Tell people what you're good at. I'm a really good knitter. And I think this turned out really well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about this a little
agree.
bit more and why I'm wearing this when we get to We're Curious. In fact, I'll even try to put it on. So it's one of these, you can either wear it as like a long open cowl. I might leave it on like this
Okay.
for a while.
Maybe every 5 minutes you can shift it a little bit
Shift
so
it
we can
around.
enjoy all the
Okay.
designs.
All right.
I'll ring a bell when it's time
Ding!
to shift.
Anna is holding us up here with finished objects. She's got a couple finished objects.
Okay.
Let's see them, Anna. I haven't seen them. It's so fun.
So I have this vision of a bowl of some sort holding a bunch of baskets that are taken from samplers. So the first one I did in January was from Katrin and William, which is a modern folk embroidery design. And this is what it looks like when I finally fully finished it. And I'm going to use William Morris fabrics on the back. I just love this.
Did you put some lavender in there?
Yeah, so I wanted to do half and half, walnut shells and lavender. I was just about to say, why don't you touch that and smell that and see what you think?
I love the smell of lavender.
We had a recent comment that said, since some of the things that I have stitched for this are not actually baskets, how about a bowl full of bouquets instead of a bowl full of baskets? So, a nice alliteration there. So for now, it's living all by itself with some mushrooms.
Sherry of Colorado Cross Stitchers, when she shows her pillow, she always pinches back here to get it up close. I'm gonna channel her. Anna, that's beautiful.
So, yeah, thank you. I love it. And it sort of, you know, when you fully finish something, you're like, okay, keep going, keep going. I was going to do one of these every 2 months.
August.
And so now I just still like the concept, but it's not going to be done.
Okay, are you going to keep it going?
Definitely.
Okay.
And I even have some ideas of doing like a little bird and a little such and such to put in with these baskets. The second one that I did is much bigger than this. And then I'm even thinking, okay, do I want to do that like the front of a flat fold and put it in the back of the, what do you call this thing? Dough bowl kind of thing.
Yeah,
Tray.
right now you have more Junkadelia than cross stitch.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't even have it displayed.
And Junkadelia is a positive term in our household.
That's right. You know, the little doodads.
It's a doodad. Whoopsie! That's kind of vacuumed down there. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Oh, Anna, this has like a stick or something in it. For real. Oh, no, it's paper. Oh, that's kind of
Kind
nice.
of pretty, isn't it? I got it at a card shop in Philadelphia.
Nice. Whoops.
Okay.
Okay.
My second finish is these. This is what I brought on vacation, and a lot of people have asked me about this pattern. I bought it from a store, Brooklyn Haberdashery, got it through the mail, and it is sold out there, and I cannot find it anywhere. So it has the word Cosmo, it has Lycean Corporation, the instructions are in Japanese. It's so funny to me because I think this is very similar to your scarf. I'm like, why are these geometric designs so compelling and fun for me?
Mm-hmm.
There's something there. I like a grid.
Yep.
So I did this, it was a kit, and I did it on 16 count.
Oh, they're far bigger than I imagined.
So here we go. Each of them is a slightly different color blue. Some of it is Cosmo floss, some of it was unlabeled floss. I don't know what it was. And it was just so fun.
It looks like a perfect travel project. Anna, how did they get finished?
Well, they're supposed to be, these are the button forms. You're supposed to cut out a circle larger than the form, sort of do one of those running stitches and squish it together. But I don't know.
These look bigger.
Well, they are going to be bigger, but they're going to wrap. Look, if you look, it really wraps around the side.
Oh.
My daughter had all kinds of ideas. She's like, you should put that down the center of a dress. You should make them magnets instead.
Well,
I know.
what about those being buttons down the front? So that center part looks like it's buttoned.
Well, would they hold up to washing? If there were buttons. I don't know. So,
Really fun.
like I said, I would just put a couple lengths in, sometimes early morning, sometimes when I was watching the Olympics, and I could really see this without a magnifier, which was my goal, to experiment a little bit with something without a magnifier. So sorry for those who are interested. I don't think there's any kits available. I do think this is something you could design yourself if you really want to just do some geometric designs.
Yeah, really, really neat, Anna. I don't know if we're farther away from the camera. It feels like it's a little harder to get close. So it might just be standing up. Anna, what a great project.
It was fun.
Nice.
All right.
Okay,
Should
I'd
we
like
move on to our whips?
Yeah, I'd like to see you. I'd like to see those fully finished, just to see what that looks like.
Let's
Oh, and
just
then
take
this.
out-
What's the? Is
That's
that?
just the backing.
Oh,
Like,
okay, so
I'm
a little
gonna cut
bit-
out another circle.
So you probably put it around and then just put a little back on it.
Yeah. One of the friends I was visiting speaks Japanese, and he was reading some of the.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, I said, would you mind reading some of these things? The visuals are really good, but at one point there's this stitching that goes around, and he said that the literal translation is a vertical festival for stitches like this. So awesome. Let's just compare the size of so much sticky stuff.
I wonder if Brooklyn Haberdashery too, if they sold out, if they're going to restock it. It might be worth contacting that website, that company, and seeing.
Oh yeah, it's a lot smaller than the design.
Yeah.
So that's really gonna get. Look at the difference.
I'm just going to put it on top so you can see the overlap. So you see there is. Okay.
Okay,
Great, Anna.
we'll see what happens.
Success.
I think they're gonna end up to be magnets, if I had to guess right now. But I did think, what about, first thing I thought of for this tunic was Pennsylvania Dutch motifs, but then I thought maybe something just really geometric.
Maybe something more modern. Yeah. What if you used Velcro and put some Velcro on there, and then you could Velcro the buttons on and then take them off when you wash it?
That's cool.
Brainstorm.
Like it.
Okay. So the first thing we're gonna go to whips now, and I have
Works in progress.
Works in progress. First thing I'm gonna show you is a design called Bird Herd. There are two versions of it, Bird Herd and Bird Nerd, and the only difference is what the wording says. Here's the design. And this is a very generous free pattern from Amity, and she's Boomerang Stitches on Instagram. And she and her sister Erin are the Hathaway sisters on YouTube. Her
Stitchers, Hathaway sisters. Stitchers, right?
What did I say?
Sisters?
I know I tend to say that. Hathaway Stitchers. Amity, you must be some kind of graphic designer or something because her chart is
Tell us more,
gorgeous.
Amity.
Tell us more. She definitely has a sense of
Tell us
color
what you're
and
good at.
design. Yeah, Amity, tell us. Come on. What are you good at? Well, we know what she's good at. So I was on this beach vacation with all 4 granddaughters, and we had spent a lot of time to summer together, and I'm like, those girls are my little bird herd. So this design is for them. And I went to Michael's one day and I got the 11 DMCs that the pattern called for. I went to go get those and I came out with 24 DMCs. I think I showed those on my last one. And I just
Tell
have
us again.
this big pile of DMC. So what I did, they're 4 girls, 4 birds. So on vacation I started with the oldest and went down. They're 2 4-year-olds and 2 2-year-olds. And I had them pick their colors. So this first bird was our oldest. And she's only oldest by like a month. And this was her bird, her colors. And then the next bird is our other 4-year-old. And then I'm just starting the first 2-year-old.
Are you doing an age order? Did you say that?
I'm doing it in age order. And the birds kind of in some way fit their personalities, like something about that. So I'm working on this bird right now. This granddaughter, she loves greens and blues, and she picked a little bit of pink. Everything else was greens and blues. So this is the only part of the bird that's going to be pink. The wings and that big old fluffy doodah on top of it will be in greens and blues. And I'm like, have you ever seen a green and blue bird? Who cares? I'm just going for it with the colors they picked.
They look great.
Now I'm going to say I did a little tweaking here and there. So for example, this first bird, she really liked this red, and then she picked a pink that she also liked, but the pink was they were way too close in value. So I picked like sort of the same pink, but 1 shade lighter. I had picked a few, like when I was at Michael's, I had picked a few that was like the similar
We'll allow
color
that.
range. Yeah, allow
I'm
that.
having a hard time navigating all the fabric in my tunic. Excuse me.
This might look, I'm not even gonna put, that could look good too.
Okay.
So this has just been so fun. What are some of my details here? Let's see if I can hold that one.
The colors on the fabric. Oh my gosh.
Doesn't it
When
good?
you posted that on Instagram, I was like, oh.
Yeah. So again, the designer is Boomerang Stitches, Amity, and it's on 28 count Autumn Gold by Lakeside. Since I was traveling, I thought 28 count would be good. I don't need a magnifier really. I can sit out anywhere and stitch it. And then DMC, the called for, plus 13 other options for the girls to pick from. And it's stitched 2/2. This is Anna. We had just been talking about railroading when you were stitching 2/2. So I was experimenting a little with it. And I do think when I do the railroading, it looks better. But I find it wasn't as enjoyable when I was stitching. I wasn't just like cranking it out. It was like
One
a
of
little...
one of the video tutorials I watched, the person estimated it takes her twice as long when she's railroading.
Mm-hmm. So I just sort of would pick and choose depending on my mood or if I thought this might be an important area to railroad it.
Yeah, plus I think your tension or whatever it is about your stitching, you have exceptionally neat stitches,
Yeah.
so maybe it's less necessary.
So super fun. I'm gonna not stitch bird herd, even though I'm calling it my bird herd. I'm not gonna stitch this. I'm gonna stop with that. But I do think I'm gonna maybe stitch some over one along the bottom and just put in the name of the beach where we were and maybe the date or something like that. Or I don't think I'm gonna stitch their names on it, but I think I will do something right under the branch.
Yeah, maybe
Or
beach
even
summers or something.
yeah, like that. Or I might in over one do like my bird herd or something like that. We'll see once we get there.
Yeah, I like that.
So older girls, good job picking your colors. Girl number 3, I think she did a pretty good job. We'll see what happens with the 4th one.
All right. And the next whip is you.
Okay, let me just move
I haven't
out
seen
of
this
the
one in
way.
person yet.
Okay. My next whip is also one that I think is a really great portable one. And it was, I've done spring salt boxes, both of those, summer salt boxes. So now I've started the autumn salt boxes. This is up close enough. And this is, of course, by Plum Street. They are autumn salt boxes. And I'm started with this one, which is officially number 2. They're labeled when they're in there. And here's my progress. Started this.
I like the fabric color. Whoa.
Yeah. And for this, it's a 36 count. I cannot find anywhere where I wrote down what the fabric was. And I have already cut it. I'm pretty sure it's a week's, but I'm not sure. I think I'll stumble upon it at some point, like the leftovers or something, so I'll be able to know the name. And I'm using the called for DMC and overdyed flosses.
I mean, is it gray? Is it purpley gray? What color is it?
Could it be Weeks Gray? I think it is Weeks, and the reason I think it is Weeks, does anybody else find this? Sometimes I feel like Weeks has a little bit of like fluffiness on it. Oh. Now this particular one, I'm gonna show you that motif. There's a little barn motif on there. It's like a little windmill. That's over 1. Now, this is a question I have for you all because, like, let's say on a sampler I did recently, I was stitching the sampler with 103s, and when I went to do my over 1, I picked a Swatsaphine that's finer to do the over 1. What do you do when you're stitching with DMC or like a cotton and you're already using 1 strand? What do you do for over 1? What does everybody do out there? I don't think you can ply it any. Does it just end up being thicker because you have 1 strand over 1 linen thread instead of 1 strand over 2 linen threads? Or do you try to get like a thinner floss that matches? I'd love to hear what people do. Am I worrying about something I shouldn't even be worrying about?
I bet you either works, and you could try them in the margin. But now that we know how to go to a finer thread, I think that's going to be your preference.
Yeah, and so maybe I look in our Swatsaphine and just see, is there something finer in there that's a close enough color for that?
Or next time we go up to Needle in a Haystack.
Yeah. So here is just my
floss. I like those colors.
Very autumny, very fall-y. These, I love these because there is a lot, they're small, very portable. I feel like they're so easy just to pick up, and there's a great combination of a little bit of detail, a little bit of fill-in. I don't mind that white border. I like that white border. And so I just have so much fun stitching these.
I've heard some people say, oh, there's a lot of stitching in these little ones, but because you don't mind fill-in.
Yeah, there's a lot of stitching, but that's fine. I'm not like, I have no agenda of when I need to finish it, so I really enjoy it. Just look at all those great colors.
I've thought that a few times. I thought, like, if this was my job or if I had a deadline, it would really change things, because I was learning how to do the open hem this weekend, and I found it so relaxing. But I was really concentrating and going very slowly, and I thought if I had to do this quickly, it would really change it for me.
That's right. So deadline, right. But I have, I'll finish this
however it happens.
However it happens. This bigger one, the gray one, of course I'm going to do it. But it reminds me sort of like of an old gray, like, workhouse for orphans. I don't know why. Just sort of like something from the.
What's the color of floss?
It's probably these kind of greeny grays, I'm guessing. And this one, for example, is seagull.
Are you going to do the same color fabric, or do you want to put it on like a pink fabric?
Nope. I've been doing both of the houses for a season on the same linen because I've been having them together.
Yeah.
It's so fun too because now that I have like the 4 fully finished, it's like I can really imagine having all 8 and flipping them around. I'm really feeling that, like, seasonal displays.
We're laughing just because we just don't have very much experience with it, and it gets exciting now that we have a few finished pieces.
Yes, I'm getting enough finishes where I have to, like, I can swap things in and out, or I have to think a little bit more about, where can this go?
I mean, I guess I have that experience with my Christmas ornaments. It's like every year when you open it up, you're like, oh, hello, friends.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know I've been contemplating, I'm looking we have like one big room here. It's like kitchen, sort of dining area, living room. And I'm looking at my green couch right over there. And I'm thinking, I think I want to get one of those little shelves that go behind your couch. I think people have that, you know, they're only about like this wide. Because I'm like, oh, behind that couch is a big purple wall over there. It'd be great to have it.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful.
Okay. Anna, what's the whip you've got going?
I'm just going into my little Evertote moth bag to get the old weeds and wildflowers.
Yeah.
So this is what I've been working on these past couple days since I've been home. I left it at home. It was just so good to see it. Carolyn and I both got the kit from Evertote, so we're using the Roxy floss and the butter linen, which I know a lot of people saying like, I don't really like yellow. I love it. I love yellow. And this is looking great. What were you gonna say?
They're now carrying this linen in there in the Evertote shop. Here, do you want to put it? Sure. And I'll just hold up the beautiful flosses. Again, they're between Carrie's beautiful dyeing and Gigi's beautiful selection of colors. It's just a color masterpiece.
Yeah. So, you know, the usual excitement when I got down here and I turned the corner. Just love it. I've been working on the moth. I finished most of the flower before I left for vacation. And I'm telling you, I'm finding this section that's a little bit polka dotty.
Yeah.
I'm finding it kind of hard to stitch. I think I don't do a lot of carrying, and I'm realizing, oh, just carry a little bit here, Anna.
For those mosaics, I tended to do the background first because that is all connected. And then I stitched the polka dotty part of it.
It's interesting because that's what I've been doing for this mosaic section, but not for this. Maybe I need to switch to that. And I'm realizing I'm not an outliner. So I've seen some people online, maybe Becky at Becky's House of Sewing. Do you have your whole moth outlined? I tend to just work in a section.
Yeah.
So like maybe I should try an outline and see.
I like it. I like if I can outline to outline. I think some people have also been outlining if they want to get from one motif to another. They get enough in so that they can have a couple things going at a time.
I think maybe it's just not my first instinct, and I think I have a little bit of a worry. I think I'm more likely to not catch an error if I do all the outlining and I'm not filling in and seeing things relative to the outline.
Yes, I could totally see that.
So I think that's part of the reason I don't. But continuing to enjoy this and, well, more than enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, we've said it a million times. The design, the colors, the whole thing. And even the project fab. Yeah. I mean, every time I open this and I look at that beautiful magnet.
I know, I love the magnet. Anna, Caroline emphasized in one of her videos there, she and Carrie do a video together. I'm going to show you, and then so look how similar this flower is. So Caroline sent this fabric to Gigi, and this fabric was an inspiration. So hold up your flower next to the flower there, and you can start to see how you can really see that inspiration.
This part down here. Yeah.
So I think that's cool.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Has some of that color worn off?
It's like just that. It's sort of like a
little distressed, or like block printing. It was pretty. Feels really good.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this size for patterns that are this size. It's a really nice size bag. Boop, boop.
Yeah, because I don't think either of us. Do you put your linen in the bag ever?
I don't. I keep all my linen pieces in a drawer.
I hang my linen pieces with pants, like those little hangers with the clips on them, in a closet. In fact, I was even thinking that might be a way for us to think about hanging our linen stash. Almost
seeing it
either
easily.
Just like or just so it doesn't get the wrinkles built in for a long time. Like whether even when we get a new linen, we do just a quick iron. Doesn't have to be perfect, and just hanging them a little bit. I don't know.
Speaking of ironing, I was ironing some Aztec red this morning, and I spritzed it because it had really strong creases, and I have red splotches on my ironing board cover. So Aztec red, if you get it wet, will run.
The fabric itself.
Careful, everybody.
Do you think it's worth sort of pre-washing before you use it, and seeing if it's just excess dye that needs to come out?
I don't know. Please weigh in, everyone. With your expertise. Oh my goodness, wait till you see what's coming.
All right, so the next thing, it's almost a finish. Probably by the time we get back from pizza tonight, I'm gonna finish it. And this is, I've been calling it Yaya's Sampler. This is a historic sampler that is from my husband's side of the family by marriage. And once I fully finish it, I'll give some more details again. And here's a progress of where I was. It was like last video, so this would have been mid-July before I left. And I'm almost done with it.
It is breathtaking, Carolyn. Oh my goodness. The colors you picked. Too.
Yeah. Okay. So what I did for this, it's 36 count brown paper by XJU Designs, and the red is Schoolhouse Red. And what I have left is I'm working on my surrounding by Smyrna crosses that go all the way. They're right inside the border there.
How are you stopping and starting those?
I'm doing, okay, so it starts with a diagonal leg. It's 8. It goes diagonal, diagonal, vertical, horizontal. So that first diagonal leg, I'm doing a pin stitch. And then I'm carrying it from one to one.
But then when you need to end your thread,
I'm actually either tucking it in, or it's so close. All those Smyrna crosses are so close to my borders, I just tuck it in the border. So I'm coming down, I've got Smyrna crosses here to finish, and then I'm personalizing it down here in the border, and I have my initials, and I'm gonna put the date still. And I think I'm gonna have enough room to have just a little bit of the border there. So I really felt, for me personally, I'm feeling like it's important when I'm reproducing a sampler somebody else did, that I'm also recording my data on there.
Wait, where are your initials?
They're down here in this border.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna have 2024 here, and I think I'll have room for like a little bit of at least one little blip there.
I like the decision you made.
It's interesting. I was thinking, there are several places on this where there's enough open space where I could put either my Q or my initials. But every place I felt like I was putting myself too forward in there. So I went back to sort of putting myself in with a border, not in with the main part of the sampler.
Even over one?
Even over one. Just for this one in particular, that just felt like the right thing to do. So again, it's down here if you can see. Okay.
And you're going to finish it, fully finish it?
Yeah. So I'm still thinking, so I'd love input from anybody. The way I'm thinking about finishing it now, because you see it's just sewn over. All right, so, and then it's framed. I think
was that an original thing or something?
I don't know. I haven't actually seen the physical one. This is a photo. Oh, you know what it must look like? It looks like, oh, this is going to be kind of like how I'm thinking of finishing it. All right, I'm going to put a photo up here and see if you can see it. It's almost like just turned under, if you can see it, around the edges with some stitching on top. And then it looks like it's mounted on a board that is then framed, because you can start to see the frame right down there. Okay, I'm glad I thought about that. This is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about hem stitching it and then attaching it to a linen covered board, matte board, that is framed.
That'll be beautiful.
I
think that's what I want to do for my Fruits of Plenty.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. There's a framing store downtown that I took a picture. They had something in the window that was kind of done like that.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
So I don't quite know the best way to attach something that's sewn to a board, whether you sew it on first and then stretch it. So this might be something I would be willing to go get professionally framed there. They would also teach me or just talk me through, like if I was going to do it myself, what to do. I took it because my sister-in-law Helen is a beautiful stitcher. I've shown some of her things before, and I really wanted her to see this in person too on our trip. She lives on the East Coast, and her first instinct was, "Oh, that's so much smaller." Because even when you look at this, it's stitched on a very open.
It's an even weave.
Yeah, it's again, I think some of the older pieces were stitched really big. Again, I'll try to put a close-up photo. I'll blow up the photo or something so you can see as well. It's cool. It's been so fun. As always, though, I'm a little sad. It's funny, I finished almost everything last week. Like right when I got home, it's what I focused on. But I'm like, I don't really want to finish it yet.
Yeah, it's all the good things in life, and like your pedicure massage, your nice vacation, your really nice stitch. You don't want it to end. So
today I'm like, just get those Smyrna crosses finished and let's move on. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really pretty.
And it's something so fun about stitching the person's name. For this one, I definitely wanted to put her name in it. Okay. So that's called Yaya's Sampler.
Whew.
Yeah. All right. My last whip is a knitting whip, and it's a new start. In fact, I cast this on our plane trip.
Oh, that's what you put it in the story.
I put it in stories. Once I'll show it to you, I'll tell you a little bit more about the story. So here is the sweater. It's designed by Joji Locatelli, and any knitters know she's very, very prolific and beautiful designer. She lives in Argentina. And it's a yoke top-down sweater. And I'm knitting it in this yarn. It's called Luxe. It's from Sonder Yarn. They're a Canadian brand. It is not scratchy. It is not scratchy. In the Montreal area. And it is, as you can see, merino cashmere nylon. And it's a fingering weight, which means it's pretty fine. All right, so here I've done so much.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot going on. I know.
Whoa.
Okay, so if you can see, there's my yoke. The color's blowing out a little bit. What I like to do is I do my yoke and I knit my body down to a certain length, and then I just put it on waste yarn to hold it, because I want to have my sleeves on so that when I try it on, I can really refine what length I want the sweater to be. So I've got one sleeve done, and I'm working on the other sleeve. And you can see all my markers. That's just telling me when you start a sleeve, of course, your upper arm is bigger than your lower arm. You're starting with more stitches and you're decreasing your stitches on a regular basis.
The yarn is knitting up beautifully.
Yes. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert, I just took a little, I'm not talking, it's just a little video of myself wearing the sweater so you can just see what it looks like on the body. And here it is. I don't know about what you all think, but it fits great. It's like the right amount of ease. I just want to make sure I might get your help just to make sure I get the length spot on when I'm doing it. I'm gonna modify the sleeves a little bit. They're a touch long, and she had you finish it with a rolled cuff. I don't like that at all. I think I'm gonna do an I-cord for the edging for that. So I might take this back. I'm gonna maybe tweak this other sleeve and see how it is. So I might tweak those a little bit.
So can you make it shorter are you gonna make it shorter when you take it back? Like when you say take it back?
Oh, I might rip it out, make it just a touch shorter. I like maybe even just like a 1/2 inch to 3/4. I have to kind of decide. I'm gonna put it on again. I think it might just be this that's bothering me because it looks like it's kind of belling out instead of pulling in. But I like this look too. The I-cord's going to give you that same look without the, I'll show it to you on the video. And to me, it looks too, the I-cord's really crisp and clean and gives you the same look. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So this sweater is going to be done sooner than later. It was great vacation knitting. And it also reminded me, I love knitting sweaters. And it feels so good to have like a new sweater coming in the works. And such a great, this gray yarn is going to be awesome. Okay, plants.
All right, so I want to see how far I can get on weeds and wildflowers. I think I'm just going to stitch until the last day of August, which I think is a week from today. Like, could I possibly finish it? Probably not. But anyway, I'm going to put some hours into that.
Move my snoot a little bit.
And then, man, I was made for Sampler September. I think it's the special thing in the cross stitch world that I enjoy the most.
Anna, Sampler September is for you.
It's just made for you. Which makes me think like, well, why can't every month be Sampler September for you?
Well, why can't it?
I know. I think I am attracted to lots of things besides samplers, but in my heart of hearts, I'm really a sampler person. So I want to start Mary Finley, which we've showed a few times. We'll show again in our next video. Okay, great. And I think I want to bring, but anyway, I have some ideas about that. So I think I'd like to start that in Sampler September. And then I think while I'm working on that, maybe each week in September, I'm going to pull out a sampler that I've already started and just enjoy those too. That's my sampler September plan so far, but who knows what will happen.
I like that. So when you get to September, you're going to put weeds and wildflower away.
I'm like,
you're
storing it all.
cleaning. You're cleaning house and you're going to just enjoy your September. Okay, good.
What are your plans, Carolyn?
Okay, I'm going to totally finish Yaya's sampler. In fact, I'm going to probably finish it today. So I might, if I do finish it today or before this video goes out, I'll just put a picture in our entry or exit of that finished. Then I'm going to pull my weeds and wildflower out, and I am not too far from a finish on this one. So I think I'm going to just keep working on this one till it's done.
Great.
I love this. Then for Sampler September, I am going to start Mary Finley. And we have the fabric, we have the call for floss, call for fabric. So I'm very excited to start.
I want to use more blue. I want to bring the blue up here, or maybe even consider a blue border.
You know what? I think it would be nice to add some blue to the alphabet. Let's see on that. And then next, I'll just continue working in my autumn Saltbox. When I finish Yaya's, I think I'm going to start a new red sampler. And my next one to do is from samplers in my attic. What is that?
Ursula's
sampler.
Saying it.
Yeah, came from Jean Lee's collection. I haven't picked my linen yet, but I did pick the Classic Colorworks Belle Soie Tulip, and that's the color that Jean used. So just to honor that, I picked the same color red.
It's a gorgeous, rich color.
Yeah, I've never used the Belle Soie before.
You're gonna like it.
So I think I'm looking forward to that. Okay. And then the other thing, Anna, we do episode notes before, just what our order is and putting our details in there. And we're always doing it typically Saturday morning before we film. And under my plans, Anna types in request from Anna. Start the deer sampler from the attic, please, ! And I said, high on my list. That might be my birthday start this year. And then she puts back in, perfect. So that's in there. So that's this one, Checkerboard Stag Sampler. I also got this at the attic.
Carolyn.
I love this. This has a lot of satin stitch. So I've been considering whether when I get there, I want to have it like in a hoop or a frame or something stitching it. But I used, what were these? These gum nuts?
I think so.
All the gum nut silk I got at the attic. And then I also got a piece of crescent crown linen in cream puff. And that's what I'm going to stitch it on, 40 count. So I am thinking this is going to be my birthday start.
Okay.
Because it feels kind of
acceptable.
Acceptable? Okay. So those are my plans.
I'm excited for you.
Now that school's starting again, I think we'll be back in the rhythm of like evening stitching every day.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Next section is going to be We Are Curious. I have been thinking a lot about things on grids and how knitting color work and cross stitch, you're doing the same thing. You're knitting off a rectangular grid. And I just wanted to show you a couple things I have. I love knitted color work. I have this, just a sampling. This is a pillow I made. It was going to be a vest, but I turned it into a pillow, and just seeing that color work.
That was from a Stitch It or Ditch It, wasn't it?
It was. That back. I'm going to put a picture in of a sweater. It has a color work yoke that I made for granddaughter. So just for you to get a feel of these color work designs. And then here's something. I took this really great class. This is pre-pandemic. It was an online class. It was fantastic. But this is called a cell boom mitten. I'm going to show you a book of these. This is a area, oh gosh, now that I'm talking about it, is it in Sweden? That they make these incredible mitten designs. So where you have, combination of geometric and even how like your thumb is integrated so the pattern continues.
Beautiful.
I ended up only making one just because the yarn I used and the pattern, I think it was like a men's mitten because it was just a little bit too big for me, but I've kept it just as almost like an art piece. So, all right. So in the back of my mind, I keep thinking like, can I take this and translate it to cross stitch? And there's so many wonderful, I'm just going to pull out a few reference books that I had. Excuse me. Selbu is Norwegian. So Fair Isle is off of Scotland, and they're just all kinds of beautiful books. And just like For us, with sampler histories, you know, there's all these histories of these color work sweaters. Okay, so you look at this, but in these books, there are just charts, just like we have in cross stitch, of borders.
Yes,
or
it looks like a cross stitch chart.
I know, or, you know, different motifs. And it's just how you add your color that make these motifs come alive. So here are some Fair Isle motifs. Now this book, yeah, let's just show the front. I'm just gonna show the front of this book. This author, Anne Bardsgard, she studied these Selbu mittens. There's like a whole museum for them, and she documented them all. So this is an incredible book. Can you just see that stack of mittens?
I have such admiration for people who dive deeply like this.
Documented. And Anna just opened this. So for example, there are these variations on a theme. Here are all kinds of mittens with these flowers. And then she has the charts. And you can see how they're so similar, but are also different. So I can't get enough. Mm-hmm. And I'll show you what I've started in just a minute. And then I had this inspiration. We were back east. The one time Anna and I saw each other was in the beginning of August. We happened to all be able to converge in Philadelphia for our niece's bridal shower. It just happened. And so it was really, really great. I was up going to the bathroom in my niece's house. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is a beautiful piece of art. I'm going to put it right here. And Anna, I'm going to show you what it was. Maybe you have seen it in her house before. So it's 4 little paintings that were done by a local artist. And let me tell you, the artist is Laura Cantu Herzl. And they are little abstract paintings of the Wissahickon Woods, which are in Philadelphia. And her dad, our brother-in-law, framed them for our niece. And what he did is he put Velcro so that they could move the 4. And I saw that. And first of all, I love like a series or a theme. And I'm like, oh, those could be little cross-stitch tiles. So then that got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to do like Fair Isle or something where each tile could be a variation on a theme, or something like that. So I think I'm kind of moving in that direction. And then that's the idea of like framing them then on like a linen covered mat board, either with magnets or some way that they're attached to that. Okay, this is all going in my brain.
Yes.
I hope you're enjoying this one. I'm curious about. Can you tell I'm like so into it? So then the first thing I thought is I'm like, okay, Carolyn, slow down. Start small. Just pick one thing and stitch it and see what you think. So what I did is I took this mitten design. In fact, let me go and show you in the book first. So this is how you'll get a pattern. The pattern is simply, I don't feel bad showing this I'm just gonna show it.
Buy the book if you use the pattern.
Yeah. So that is your pattern. You can see the front and the back of the mitten. They tend to have, the front is often very showy. It's a bigger motif. Sometimes it has an organic feel. And then your palm tends to be a small geometric. So it's all these juxtapositions of large and small change of scale. And then they have these border elements in the thing. So what I did is I took that, made some copies, and then just made a little design based on the large and small with the border motifs. And here's where it is. I'm stitching this on 40 count maple bar by Cedar River Linen.
How are you feeling about 40 count these days?
Okay, pretty good. This, the maple bar feels denser, and whether it's because of the dye process, like I feel like the hole is not as obvious. So I have to look a little bit more carefully with this, but I'm enjoying that. And I'm using a dinky dye variegated blue.
So pretty.
So I'm still, of course, I'm still have stuff to do up here. This isn't finished, and I'm starting my borders. I get a little
side by side.
Yeah, so you can see.
You've done a lot.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I love that large motif with the small motifs. So this one I'm just going to finish as like a really simple tile, but I do think the next thing is I'm going to think about juxtaposing probably 3 tiles together and this one I also started with the Selbu mittens because it's like a one color thing, whereas Fair Isle you start to think about the play of color.
Yeah. What about if you just put Velcro on your wall and you just have tiles.
Yeah. So
That's a no from her.
no, that's a possible. I don't think just on my wall. I think I would want to have some kind of board. But I kind of like that idea when Lucy was just saying, like, they're Velcroed in so you could move them around. So that idea. So we'll see where this goes, but it just, these color work charts, you know, can you imagine some of these? It just reminded me of the band samplers.
Yeah.
Or this idea that you're doing a sampler, stitching all your possible motifs.
So then this makes me wonder, at a certain time all over the world were certain, is it more regional that the different designs come up, or were different styles of things popular in many places in the world at the same time?
I know. I'd like to learn more. The two-stranded knitting is the real hubs of that are like Scotland and the Faroe Isles, which are islands off of Scotland, so sort of the British Isles. And then Scandinavia, of course, is known really, so Norway, Sweden. I would love to know what, you know, other cultures had as their, I know, it's really pretty, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And just to show, like, for example, like, again, I'm not giving away the pattern, to knit this is what the pattern looked like. So it was like knitting bands, and you would just repeat these bands a certain number of times to get your overall design. So then my brain was starting, okay, I'll be quiet in just a minute. But then my brain was thinking, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to take a design and knit it, but then also stitch it, and take knitting and also lace it on a board like you do your stitching, and have them like sort of side by side, sort of mixing.
Would the scale be different a little bit?
The scale would probably be different. Yeah, it would, because knitting is not a square.
Yes.
So every knit stitch is a little bit higher than it is wide. So anytime you're looking at a knitting chart, it gets a little bit elongated. So,
all right, very,
that's
very
just what I've been
interesting.
curious about and really, really into. And
were you thinking about this on vacation too, or since you've gotten home?
Oh, I've been thinking about going from knitting to cross stitch for like a long time. And then it was seeing that art again. This
that's
art,
right. So that was over
that
vacation
just
when that
like
happened.
sparked, and I'm like, I just love that. And I think too, I just love our tile finishes, and they look to me like really modern and fresh. And I'm like, oh, these would be beautiful having these tiles and then framed.
I like all the glass in the frame that you showed of the artwork. Can I see it one more time?
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say it's right here where I'm showing her on the computer. Yeah. So there's a lot of open space. Yeah, and Chris made that frame beautiful. Again, it's very simple, like a paw frame. And hopefully I'll have it up here while we're talking. And it's a little shadow boxy. And I don't think there was glass in front of these. I'll have to ask again. I can't.
What's on the back? I mean, is that the wall?
No, that's like must be like a mat board or something.
Yeah,
so
it couldn't be.
I envision that. I almost want to get a piece of linen, whether it's the same color or contrasting color, and lacing that on a board, and that's being what's framed.
Yeah.
And then I almost imagine having magnets and then being able to put those on with magnets with that.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes I don't know, you all might be the same thing, but I get starting to think about something and all of a sudden I'm just like, whew, all these ideas, and then I get more complex and I have to go, Carolyn, will you just slow down and try something simple? So that's what I'm here. This is just I'm like, just get started, do something simple, and see where.
See how much you like it. See what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, unless I just want to compare, here is the mitten,
Hold on.
and then there is the stitching. So you can sort of get a flavor of it, moving it into a rectangle. Okay.
Great. Shared supplies.
Bring it in.
That's
Shared
right.
supplies. Anna, what do you have?
Great. Not too much. I gotta get on it.
We have been really lame with our shared supplies. I mean, we have been buying things that we need, like for our projects along the way.
All right, part of my vacation time was spent in the Hudson Valley, and I went to a sweet little store called Beetle and Fred in Beacon, New York. And look what was sitting on a bolt.
Anna.
The fabric that the larger project bag that Evertote was selling. is made of.
Oh, that's the other fabric.
So that's the moth.
Oh. How much did you get?
I think I might have gotten a yard.
I.e., can we both have
Yes,
plastic
of course.
bags?
It's shared supplies. Maybe I only got a half
I
yard.
think you got a half yard. Okay.
Well, we know where to get more if we need it.
Send Katrin down there.
And then
Anna, that's great.
at the same store, they had these little tags. I thought sticking out of the edge of a project bag could be fun to play with those.
Oh, are they like fabric tags that you sew in?
I mean, they're meant for garments. That's sort of popular in the garment world. But you know
that's
how a lot of project
cute.
bags have a little tag?
Like a maker's tag?
I don't know. It's like one of those silly little things you buy when you're on vacation, but I've been enjoy using them.
Oh, fun. That's good.
I should have gotten a yard, shouldn't I have? What was I thinking?
And what a fun thing to walk in the store and be like, oh,
Yeah.
look at that fabric.
Yeah. How about you? What about
Okay, so the one thing a couple things I'm going to share. When I was in the DC area, my husband's sister, Helen, lives in Northern Virginia. And so we had some time. I'm like, you want to go to the stitching store together? And she's like, yes, I do.
In fact, I was at Sewn In America the day
That's
you were
right.
at.
That's right. So we went to In Stitches. It's a store in Alexandria. It is fantastic. If you are in the DC area, totally worth a trip. They have lots of samples, lots of floss, all their charts. It was really, really great. It was a little bit crowded. I think there might have been a retreat or something in the area because there were a lot of shoppers there. But what they did is they had models all over the store, and every model had a number on it. And then they had self-service bins based on that number.
That's clever.
So you didn't have to ask, oh, do you have that chart? What is it? You could just go look. So I picked up a few things. The first thing, and this was from a model, so you can see it was model number 1156. And it was Plum Street's Gobble Gobble. It was one of her stackers. And this is one of those things, you see the model and it is so much better than the photo. So I thought this would be a fun fall. And I picked up some of the floss, some of the colors I knew I already had at home, but I did pick up some of the ones I knew we didn't have. So that's gonna be, I'll probably start that after I do finish the salt boxes for that. Then I had just been to the beach and we love crabs, we eat crabs. So I just picked up a couple of charts that had crabs in them. And I think I'm gonna do something with a crab using these as inspiration.
Fun.
And then finally, this is, it's heartstring samplers. And she had these little, she has several of them. It's a little theme. And then she has like lots of little patterns related to the theme. And being at the beach, I want to stitch each of the girls a little something with these. Little fish or a little crab, or pick something and maybe put their initial on it and stitch it for them. So
good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really would like to get to that store sometime.
It's really worth it. Helen picked this great thing. I would have picked it too, but what they tend to do, they have so many charts, but they typically they say stock one of each chart because they have so many, just their inventory. But wherever a chart was, when you take the last one, it's a black and white picture of what was there. So first of all, they know how to restock, but I think then too, I could have said, oh, can you order this for me? And she got an Ink Circles Irish one that's really great. I would have gotten it too if there had been a second one. And then she went over and picked her green. And then the linen, it's not self-service. There's a person there that will pull linen for you, so you can't touch the linen yourself. But she was great because Helen kind of explained what she wanted, and she'd pull out some different options. And then we'd go, oh, not quite that yellow. And what she got was beautiful. So Helen, I hope you've started that piece. All right, so
when you say it was Irish, can you tell us a little bit?
Let me see if I can get a picture. It's here. It's Ink Circles. So it's like something from Ireland. So it's green. It's one color, and then it has.
But we're not talking like shamrocks and leprechauns. We're talking like just Irish symbols.
Yeah, it starts. It's like she does them where it's like a 4-part symmetry where you start in the center.
Yeah.
And it's similar. And it started with shamrocks, and then I'll see if I can find a picture. I can't really describe it.
Okay,
but it's very pretty. Shared supplies.
Great.
Oh, hey, I have one more shared supply. It's not a shared supply, it's for me. All right. There is this.
What is it? It's a big box.
There is this. She used to just do patterns. She did a lot of crochet patterns. And then she started developing her own yarn. So now she dyes yarn. but she sells it in curated palettes. So she'll be like, this is the palette that's on sale, and you pre-order it, and then you wait like, I don't know, I think I waited 3 months to get it. And then popular ones she might bring back, and then she'll have a few solids related to that palette that you can also get at the same time. So I've been eyeing these, and I just bought one of the palettes. This one's called the Sleepy Hollow palette.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm not going to take these out of the crinkly bag. And the company, it's Green Letter Day. I'm going to show one first up here. And this is worsted weight yarn. So I have that.
Almost as good as looking at a wall of MPI.
I know. And then lots of shades of like purples and some taupes with purple in it. I should say that my house is like purple wall, orange wall. So these are very much in my wheelhouse. And then I got 2 more of the really deep eggplant purple.
Do you know what's happening with these?
I have a suspicion. I think I'm going to, I've made a couple of crocheted blankets. I made one for Stephen and Javi and one for KevCat that are just like, it's with worsted weight, and it's just like almost like stripes of colors. So I think I might just do this, like just start with one color, kind of figure out what the gradation of colors, do the whole skein, add the next one. And that's why I got a couple of this darker purple, because thinking that could then be like the edging or something that pulls it together along the way.
Yeah. Good.
That was a big purchase. That's 12 skeins of yarn.
Very, very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, that's, so there, that makes up for a lot of shared supplies right there.
All right, is it time for thumbs up?
It is time for thumbs up. Where are we? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Time.
Okay, I think part of the reason I'm picking this for my thumbs up is because, like we said, I felt very removed from the cross-stitch world for a while, just like in this whole other world. And now that I'm back, I just want to celebrate all, I call it the cross-pollination in the community. And just,
that.
you know, like you see 2 different ideas from 2 different people and you're like, I'm doing that too. Or just, you know, which is my first example. So the Pennsylvania Christmas, which Carolyn and I have these
both
charts.
Good.
Yeah, I got this one at the attic. I got this originally. So Sarah of Sarah's Stitchy Spot has started one, and Katie Strachan purchased fabric at the attic during summer school for herself, and that's why I was ironing. When we were at the attic, we got some 56 count weeks Aztec red, and this is stitched in ecru, but I went for a full-on Swasserveen Blanc.
Good.
So I'm going to try a bright white on that.
I think that's great.
And I'm just not sure. Here I'm saying, like, I'm only doing samplers in September. I don't know if I'm going to, because of hearing Sarah and Katie talk, it's like, I think I need to start mine.
Yeah. It's kind of like Project Envy. Yeah.
So that's my first one. The second one is the open hem. So I've seen a lot of us are seeing and have been waiting for Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery to release his little booklet on the open hem. And
did you bring what you've done so far?
Yeah. So this is, I got a PDF.
Can you get a hard copy, or is it all only PDF?
You can get a hard copy. In fact, the next time I order, I think I want a hard copy as well.
Does Evertoad has the hard copy, or does
they must? They must.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that far.
Okay, I'm gonna order this too, because I feel like this is something for us both to have.
Right. So just celebrating the sort of the skill sharing that goes on in our community. I've always admired the open hem on Jacob's pieces ever since I first started watching his videos, and the fact that he's written up and he's also made a video tutorial, which the pairing of those 2 things.
Oh, he's made a video tutorial. Is that open for everybody, or do you have a little code?
Yeah, it's on his channel.
Okay.
So I made this little A Merry Christmas like when I came back to stitching, and I don't even know what fabric it's on. And this is a variegated NPI silk called Northern Lights. It's just been sitting in a drawer, but I've always thought I'd like to finish that with an open hem.
That's beautiful. Did you just use a contrasting thread to do your stitching around the hem, or did you pull a linen thread and use that?
I just picked a DMC that I thought was very close. You know what I found helpful was part of the procedure is to pull threads. And so I had this little pile of pulled threads, and I used the pulled thread instead of the woven fabric. to pick my thread.
Fantastic.
And I really enjoyed this process. So I was surprised. I didn't know that you made the holes all the way around first and then did the hem. I thought you would hem and do the holes at the same time.
Now, I've done one before and I can't remember what I think I only made one pass.
Okay, well, I really liked this process.
That'll be fun to compare.
And I used 2 strands of DMC so I could do the loop start. I have lots of questions about starting and ending threads and if I only used 1 strand. And I would like to do a little bit of looking around about knotting.
So mine was done in one go and I could hide my knot in the fold over part, like inside that. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Thank you. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it was, it's been sitting, it felt really like a practice piece. I was very happy I had something small.
I feel like these feel fantastic just holding them or putting them out. But then I'm also thinking again, what if you covered some mat board with this? And then...
Yeah, that would be pretty, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can't get over Carmen of Cardman Pins. Months ago, she had that little video where she just put her pieces on top of each other with the hem.
It has such a beautiful drape and feel to it with the hem stitch. So there's something, almost just having a little bowl where you just have some different things.
Yeah. Great experience.
Fantastic.
I definitely had to go into concentration mode at first, like, whoa, but then I could feel the muscle memory coming already. So I'm ready to do a bigger piece now. And then my third thing for thumbs up in terms of the cross-pollination is that one of the new releases has come out. It's from the Heart. It's called Elizabeth's Autumn Basket. It just caught my eye one morning. It's just this little sweet sampler. And then Trisha of Prep 409 showed her progress on a post yesterday. And again, it's just sort of like the synchronicity of... I think you're cross-stitchy friends.
Are you going to start that? And Trisha and you are both drawn to those similar style, I think.
Yes, I think we have a very similar. I think Sarah Stitchy Spot and I do as well. So that's just been fun for me in this past week, back at school, back to, before I go to school, I have my cup of coffee and I look at Instagram. I might watch part of a FlossTube. I'm sort of back to that and just feeling like, ooh, so many beautiful things out there.
There is definitely a feeling of connection when, even if you're not doing like a sal, or even if the person doesn't even know you're doing it, just being like, oh yeah, I love what they're doing, I'm going to do it too. Just as we say at school, everybody's always included for that.
All right, Carolyn, your thumbs up.
All right, my thumbs up are not quite as exciting as Anna. And I wish you had shown this in the finished section, just in case for people that didn't make it this far in the video. Let's bring this back the next video because that's amazing. Okay, my first thumbs up is my retirement plan.
Yay!
Yeah, so we're at the point now where we can say, if I want to, I can stop working July of 2025 in a year.
Amazing.
And why that's a thumbs up is because I now feel like I have a choice. Because I might want to keep teaching, I might want to do something part-time. Anyway, I just feel like that takes off sort of the pressure and then just lets me decide if I want to do something.
Yeah, it's a real milestone.
I can keep going. It's a real milestone. So that feels really good. And it's also making me think, well, if it ends up being my last year, then I'm like, oh, this will be my first few days of school, So it's going to be interesting to see this.
Are things feeling extra precious or not necessarily?
No, not necessarily. Okay. But just like, you're like, oh, that might just be my last. Or, oh, I don't need to worry about coming back to start school and having to cut a vacation short or whatever. So that's good. So thumbs up. My other thumbs up is Paris Olympics. I don't know how you all felt. It was so fun. We were able to watch a little bit. We were on vacation, so we didn't get to watch everything. But we had subscribed to Peacock. So since we've gotten home, John and I every night will watch an event. Like, it's still new to us. So and we'll like do a theme. So we finished all the track and field, which I love. Then we watched like all the rowing. It's been really fun. And I think Paris, there were so many things that they did so well. Like, for example, the first time I looked at the track, I'm like, really? A lavender track? I love that track.
I heard that a lot of athletes had was it orange shoes because of the way it would look against the track.
I didn't know that. And then for those that saw, you might already know this, but they had a bell at the track. And if you won a gold medal, whatever your event, you went over and you rang the bell. And it became this really special tradition. And that bell's going to go in Notre Dame. So it was one of the Notre Dame bells. And so they
beautiful.
brought it to the track. So I feel like they integrated all these like little special things, or in everybody's medal is a part of the Eiffel Tower. So just like thumbs up, Paris. You all rocked it. All right, then the last thumbs up is we're going to go camping. We do go over Labor Day. I love planning. So we're going to a national park called Lassen Volcanic National Park. I love having my map, and we have a little camper van, and today I was going out and getting the camper van, and you start planning your meals, what food are you going to take. So it's just, to me, that's as fun. I mean, no, it's not as fun. It's fun. It's not as fun as actually doing the camping, but it's like the anticipation and getting everything ready. What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. All right. Woo!
Very nice to be back.
It is great to be back. So
Okay, so hopefully see you in 2 weeks or so again.
yeah, I think we'll
get back to our regular schedule.
We'll get back to our regular routine for this, and maybe in the future we'll just be like taking. I think some floss tubers like just take the summer off or something, or just be like, okay, our videos are going to be maybe twice, like every month or so,
Right.
and not worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. So until next time,
Happy crafting.
stay curious. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
What do you mean? Okay. Do you think now?
Like, do you feel like that's parallel? Don't you think that's a greater distance there than there?
Let's see. All right. I don't know how it would. It's as straight as it's gonna be.
So maybe it's optical illusion.
Okay. I'll just edit all that out. You feel okay? Yeah. All right. Let's go.